Hey golfers, in this next video I'm going to be talking about losing tush line downswing. Keep watching. Hi, it's Troy from hittingitsolid.com here. Thanks for watching. So we're talking about losing tush line downswing. Now if you've been told you're losing your tush line, maybe you've had your video reviewed and it's something you want to fix, this video is going to help you out. So what does it actually look like when we're talking about it? So the down the line view will show it best. I'm set up to a ball here. If I make a pretty good backswing, where a lot of golfers lose this tush line is they'll lift up, get a lot taller. So if in my setup, if I was to draw a straight line right down against my butt there, that would be my tush line. And what golfers do is they stand up, they pull away from it with their pelvis and their hips, stand up tall, and get really flippy on the downswing. Now this causes a lot of inconsistent golf shots. You'll get anything from thin and fat, toe shots left and right. You get a little bit of everything. You don't get that solid strike that we're really after to help us enjoy the game a lot more. So why does it happen? Well, there's a number of reasons. A couple of them is you might have too much weight towards your toes, the front of your foot at setup, too much weight at the front. And that weight stays there in the backswing, and on the downswing, you get up too quickly on those toes and that thrusts your hips forward like that. So too much weight towards those toes cause you to early extend and lose that tush line on the downswing. Now the other reason is your path. You could be coming too far inside or too far outside on the downswing, and that'll look something like this. You might get to here and you might stand up and come way too far inside like that, which means you have to stand up to give yourself room and flip the club, or you might do the other opposite, stand up and cut across the golf ball like that. So those are two really common reasons why you'll be losing your tush line in the downswing. Okay, some other reasons why you might be struggling to maintain that tush line, sorry. So if I set up to a ball here, a lot of golfers right from the start of their swing, this might be an issue with your grip or just the way you pull the club back. The face will be very open somewhere like that, and that open face will continue all the way at the top. Now on the downswing, our brains are really smart and they will look for a solution to square up that club. So if you're very open, the only way to square it up is to stand up taller and flip that club. So an open club face right from the start and your takeaway could be causing you to lose that tush line. Now the other thing could be a lack of rotation in the downswing, and I did a video on this recently that spoke about rotation. Most golfers don't get enough rotation, especially on the downswing. Now you might be someone that looks like this. Make your downswing, but your hips and your shoulders are very square, and you just sort of swing through really armsy like that. And that will quite often, if you don't rotate enough, the only way to square the club again is to stand up and give yourself a bit of room and flip at the ball like that. So that's another reason that could be causing you to be losing your tush line. And the last one I want to talk about, and I sort of touched on that in the first part of the video, getting to the top is really pushing hard off that right leg. And for a right-hander, this is really common. In an effort to get power, a lot of golfers really lift up and really drive off that right leg to swing hard at the golf ball. But all that does, it has the opposite effect. Instead of trying to generate you more power, it actually generates you less power, because you end up standing up taller and having to use these small muscles on your hands and arms to get any sort of power, rather than sort of staying in posture and really rotating and really getting a lot of power that way. So those are some more key reasons why you might be losing your tush line. So coming up, I'm going to show you how to fix it. It's coming up. Okay, let's look at some ways we can stop losing our tush line. So I'll set up to one here. So what we want to be trying to do on our downswing is feel like, I mentioned earlier about getting too much on the toes, how that can cause us to get out of posture. Now, I know there are some really good players out there that are able to do it this way, but for most of you, if you're a sort of a mid to high handicapper, ideally you don't want to be getting high up on your toes on the downswing. What I'd like to have you feel is, as you get to the top, feel like that pressure, especially on your lead leg or your left leg for a right-hander, that pressure gets to that left heel of your lead leg. And when you do that, without even really, I really want to be pushing down into that left heel, you'll notice it's really easy to stay in posture. It keeps my left hip back, because your right hip will stay back at the start, but on the downswing, right hip will be back on that line in the backswing. On the downswing, they change places. The left hip will be on it as we come down. So really feeling that pressure in that left heel, push into it, help you maintain that tush line. Now tying in with that, and this one's really important, is getting the rotation and having that left knee and that left hip clear in the downswing. So this is what it looks like. This would be the incorrect way, sort of sliding too far this way, up like that. What I'd like to see you do, as you come down, as we're pushing into that left heel, get this left hip back and rotating it out of the way and really clearing that left hip so that you've got room for the hands and arms to come through. Really clearing that left hip, pressure into that left heel, so you've got room to come through, and that'll help you stay in posture much easier. All right, so I've got another key coming up. Okay, now the other thing I want you to do, when we get into that position on the downswing, I want you to feel like you're getting those glutes engaged. You probably heard Tiger talking about activating his glutes. And what he's saying is, as he's really rotating those hips, getting pressure into that lead heel, I want you to feel like these glutes are getting engaged, particularly that left glute. When you do this, the glutes virtually are doing nothing. Everything's coming from this right calf. What I want you to do is really feel like those glutes are really getting activated. I can really feel my lead glute really stretching. Really feel it stretching as you turn, clear that left hip and rotate through. Now lastly, the last key, I like to feel like that chest on the downswing is pointing down towards the golf ball. So if we go to the top, as I come down, I like to feel that chest pointing down. If you're losing your tush line, you can pretty much guarantee it's pointing way up here somewhere. You want to feel like that chest is down towards the ground. You'll be in a much better position. You'll start striking the ball really solid. So the best way to practice these is just doing simple, slow rehearsals. You don't even have to be hitting golf balls to do this. Grab a club, jump out of your chair. What I want you to do, get to the top and really slowly just practice really putting pressure on that lead heel, rotating that lead hip, getting that left knee over that lead foot there, really rotating, getting it out of the way and swinging through. Slow rehearsals really build that muscle memory and help you really stay in great posture, nice and slow and through. That's a fantastic way, and that will help you stop losing that tush line in the downswing, stay in posture and hit the ball really solid. Now, important coming up, I've got another video that goes through the left knee in the downswing. Now this goes hand in hand with this video to help you make a great downswing and stay in posture. It's coming up, I'll see you on it. Do you want to know how to make an even better downswing? Click and watch the video on your screen now. It's going to go into more detail about how the left knee works in the downswing, which ties in really well with this video. Do you want to know how to play even better golf? Consider subscribing to the channel. And remember, if you have any questions or comments, please let me know. I will get back to you. Thanks for watching. See you next time.